Hello, we're here for More Happier, a podcast where we get more happier. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Gretch.
So today we've got a theme of listening. There's a lot of listening happening. But first, let's talk about something that's making us more happier in general.
Yeah, Gretchen, you know what's making me more happier is, you know how I always complain to you that like most people have summer, is summer, but for me, summer is like the fall. It's usually my busiest work time. Well, it has come to pass that this year, it really is like a summer I'm having. And having summer feel like summer is just the best thing ever. Like, it is making me so happy. Everyone I encounter, I'm like, usually I don't have a summer, but I'm really having the summer this year. And it's just, even though I'm still working, and I mean, I haven't really even done anything like gone to the beach or anything like that, I just feel different. Like I feel so happy that I have a light load this summer.
And
I'm
is this
just,
only
like,
because
walking on air?
Is this because because season 2 got pushed, or would this be that case either way?
Well, it would kind of be the case either way. It's really because originally we thought it had to be on the air at the end of May, so we rushed to get through it. So had we known it wasn't going to be on in May, we'd still be shooting. We wouldn't have done it so fast. So I guess in a sense, it is because of the original schedule.
Oh, right.
And it just feels so good. I mean, I don't know how I could ever work a lot in the summer again, though, because I just love the feeling of having a real summer.
Yeah, and you were always kind of out of step with the mood of everybody else. Like, there's kind of this kickback, school's out vibe, even when you're working all the time. But you really were like a lot of times you didn't even go to Kansas City, right? Like, I'm trying to think back. Weren't there years where it was really hard for you to Kansas City?
I would usually get for a few days, but it could be hard, or I had to work a lot.
Yeah, or you had to work.
So now, now it's just, again, I'm still working, but it's just a totally different vibe. Yeah. So it's a summer vibe.
Oh, that's so
over
nice.
Here at the Fierro household.
That's so nice.
How about you? What is making you more happier?
Well, I've been working on this book of aphorisms, and I just have to say, I get so much pleasure from it. And I get maybe like summer, it's kind of a feeling of hooky, where it's like, my main project is my book about the 5 senses. But then, like, on the side, I'm writing this book about aphorisms, and it's just, I'm collecting proverbs of the professions, and I'm collecting other people's aphorisms, and I'm reading aphorisms. But then, I'll have an idea, and I'll try to distill it into concise, powerful language. And it's just this sort of bite-sized creativity that is just utterly refreshing and delightful. I feel like it's fun the way Outer Order Inner Calm was fun. It was like a little straightforward, fun project. And I feel like, all my projects are fun, but some are more challenging, whereas this is challenging, but in a very sentence-to-sentence way. And so I'm finding it just like a different kind of way to be creative, but you sort of get in and out of it. I don't have to hold huge paragraphs in my head, or should this whole section be moved?
Yes.
And, where it's just like, it's complicated, which is part of the fun, but it's also fun to have something where it's just like, it's just this one sentence. And then I'm like, I'll replace the verb reach with the verb stretch. And okay, my work is done. It's just fun. So
question, because I always think of your book of aphorisms that was never actually coming out. I feel like it's going to be something you're going to be like 75 and be like, so I need that for my book of aphorisms.
Yeah.
It feels like like almost like a diary.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to actually publish it at some point?
Well, I was thinking about that because it is the kind of thing where I could work on it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I do want it to see the light of day. And so I need to think about that. And I think my next big project, which is right now I'm calling it Scientific Oracle. I'm already thinking about that book. That's going to be a big, very complicated book. And so I might try to do something with the book of aphorisms in between. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's sort of like there's no logical ending to it. It could be like 5 volumes that I publish posthumously. So I gotta be thinking about that. But it's fun to work on. Whatever happens to it in the world, it's certainly fun for me as a plaything, as a creative plaything.
Do you have an all-time favorite aphorism?
Oh, there's so many.
Or could you never choose?
I could never choose. No, I could never choose. There's so many good ones. So many good ones.
Okay. All right, coming up, we're going to hear about Gretchen's trip to see Paul McCartney. But first, this break. Okay, Gretch, this is so fun. This is our segment that we call Unforeseen Consequences. We talk about something happening that we weren't expecting from a choice we made.
Yeah.
And you had that because you went to see Paul McCartney, which was an unforeseen consequence of having watched the Get Back documentary.
Yes. So you told me to watch Get Back, and I loved it, of course. And then Chuck, our producer Chuck, told us that he was going to see Paul McCartney in Los Angeles. And then we started thinking like, wow, Paul McCartney is actually like touring. Yeah. To me, in my mind, he was just like on this, ethereal plane. He's actually touring. And so Jamie and I went. It was at Meadowlands, the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It was amazing. It was his last stop in his North American tour. It was 2 days before his 80th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
So when we were driving there was this huge billboard that was like, New Jersey says, "Happy birthday, Sir Paul McCartney." It was so great. And it was just what you would think. He played old songs, new songs. It was so good. Bruce Springsteen showed up. John Bon Jovi showed up. He played our song for the summer, Elizabeth, "I've Got a Feeling," as first encore. And there was this beautiful moment where so he played a couple songs and he's so funny. And so he just seems like such a nice person. But anyway, he plays a couple songs and then he just sort of paused and he looked out in the audience and he said, "I'm just going to take a moment for myself and drink it all in." And I just thought, it was this huge, Jamie, I was asking Jamie how many people he thought were there. He said he estimated 60,000. It was packed. Wow. All these people there. It was so fun. But Elizabeth, when you said, "Hey, you should watch this documentary," I said to Jamie, "When was the last time we went to a big concert like this?" And he's like, "I do not even remember." We just don't do that very much at all.
I just feel like following these things, getting to these unforeseen consequences, and we focus usually on the good consequences, or at least not bad consequences. Yeah. It's so life affirming. It's like when I find myself in the dog bakery with Adam, I'm like, this is a fun, unforeseen consequence. Didn't see this one coming, but it's fun. But,
maybe it's that atmosphere of growth that we're talking about all the time as part of happiness. It's like you can't anticipate where the growth will come because it's something that you haven't foreseen. Like the Book of Aphorisms is pretty foreseeable for me. Like it's very much the kind of thing that I do.
It's very you.
It's very me. And that's part of the fun of it. But then it's fun to do something that's not you. That was part, I was like, this is very out of character. It's an unexpected consequence. But Alyssa, I also have to say, because we have this ongoing debate, and we are still continuing to get people weighing in on both sides, I should say, about the more happierness of it all.
That's funny.
Somebody said to me, if he can have the Got Back tour, because that's the name of his tour, Got Back, you can have more happier.
I think that's fair. Yes, for anyone who hasn't been following this, yes, some people think more happier we shouldn't use because it's not grammatically correct, which of course we realize, but we choose it anyway.
But some people do not like that. But so the name of the song was Get Back, the name of the documentary was Get Back, and the name of this tour is Got Back.
That's great.
Very funny.
That's great. Well, I am so glad you went. I must say, I feel very happy that I got you into this whole new love.
Yes.
I got to find your next passion.
I know. Where is it going to be? That's a great question.
And Gretchen, of course, the only bummer about all this is I was going to go with you to the concert, but I decided that there was just too much COVID and Jack had something important to go to. So I didn't want to risk us all getting COVID before that. But I'm glad you went because I got so much pleasure just out of getting the blow by blow from you and the videos you sent me.
I was like, oh my gosh, Bruce Springsteen just walked on stage. It's like live video, live texting it. Yeah. There was like the fireworks. I'm like, there was fireworks. Yeah. It was fun.
So it wasn't the sisterly adventure we hoped for. So we'll have to have a different sisterly adventure.
Absolutely.
Okay, Gretchen, what is our spotlight on a tool this week?
Okay. There are so many weddings happening now. I don't know about you, but so many people I know are getting married finally, which means that people are doing readings and giving toasts. And so I just wanted to remind everybody that we have a great compilation of wedding readings that listeners sent to us. And I will post a link in the show notes, or you can go to gretchenrubin.com/resources if you want that, because people often say, I want to have a beautiful reading, or put it in the order of services or something. And so some are long, some are short. It's a beautiful collection. So I wanted to remind people that we have that on offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We got so many great readings when we asked.
And what about, usually we talk about quality screen time, but this time it's quality not screen time.
Yes. Okay, Gretchen, I am once again something I have been badgering. Talk about a happiness bully. Maybe I'm also a happiness bully.
Maybe.
At least where you're concerned.
Yeah.
I always talk about my love of audiobooks.
Yeah.
I'm always listening to some book.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to get you to listen to a book, and you never want to listen to a book. But for some reason, you decided to listen to a book. So I want to hear all about it.
Well, this is the thing, Elizabeth. Like, in the end, I know that you're Elizabeth. Jamie always says Jamie's always right. That's his thing. So I'm always like, Jamie's always right. But you're always right, and you give great recommendations. And so I had read the first. There's a series of novellas called The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. They're science fiction. And I read the first one, and it, for some reason, it just struck me that I thought I could listen to this. Usually I find it hard to pay attention to audiobooks, like to stay focused. I don't know why that is, because I can listen to podcasts and stay focused. But for some reason, I find it difficult with a book. But for some reason, I thought with these, I could do it. And so I read the print version of the first one, All Systems Read. But then for the next ones, I listened to the next three in audio. And I did miss certain aspects of, like, if there's a part that I like to go over it and reread it. And that's harder in audio. Yes. But I whipped through it because I had all this time that I would have otherwise probably been listening to The Office Ladies, So I can catch up with The Office Ladies later. But I was able, like, during my walks and running errands and things, I listened to The Murderbot Diaries, and I so enjoyed it. So now I feel like I have this whole new avenue, and inspired, Elizabeth, because I know you were reading Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli. It sounded so good that I was like, oh, I'm going to try that too. So I'm going to try that.
Good. Because, I mean, I listen to novels, but mostly I listen to nonfiction. And I don't know why that is.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that distinction. Why do you think that is? Because maybe this is a good test. So now I'm listening to this, which is nonfiction, and so I can compare.
I don't know, maybe because language does tend to be more important in novels, the actual language, that it's nice to read it on the page. But I don't know. I just, from the start, when I started audiobooks, it's almost always, that's where I listen to nonfiction. And I don't often like to read nonfiction. I really prefer to listen to it.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of times when I'm reading nonfiction, it's a book that I'm kind of reading for work. Like, I'm reading a book about the ear, or this is your brain on sound or whatever. So that kind of book I could not listen to, but I could listen to a book where it's just supposed to be interesting to me. Yeah. Like maybe a memoir that doesn't really have anything in particular that I would anticipate having to take notes.
Well, and here's what I will tell you, that a memoir is actually really enhanced by listening, because almost always it's the author who reads it. So if you're listening to Sally Field's memoir, for instance, having Sally Field reading it really makes it better. Having Steve Martin read his book, I listened to Steve Martin's book, really makes it better. Yeah. So I do think memoirs are particularly great to listen to. And of course, anything, as you know, by David Sedaris, because he has an amazing voice.
Right. He's got such an unusual voice. Oh, well, that's good. Well, I think I need to experiment a little bit, because I know people who are so into audiobooks, and they will spend a long time comparing and contrasting different readers and the voice choices and what about this, what about that. So I know that that's a huge aspect of it.
You do start to recognize people's voices, and that can be a little disorienting because you feel suddenly like you're listening to a different book, when you hear this voice. So that's very funny.
Oh, I bet. Well, I'm excited. And I'm going to think about it for nonfiction and for something that I feel like is just purely pleasurable nonfiction.
So you don't have to take notes.
Good. Well, Elizabeth, your happiness bully away.
I'm glad you're doing this, Gretchen. Okay, coming up, you have a quote for us, but first, this break. Okay, Gretch, what is our quotation today?
Yes, this is from Per Pedersen's book, Out Stealing Horses. The rack stood as if it had been there forever, across the landscape and lit by the sun with its long shadow behind it, and in harmony with every fold of the field, and finally turned into a mere form, a primordial form, even if that was not the word I used then. And it gave me huge pleasure just to look at it. I can still feel the same thing today when I see a hay rack in a photograph from a book, but all that is a thing of the past now. So the feeling of pleasure slips into the feeling that time has passed, that it is very long ago, and the sudden feeling of being old.
Gives me chills.
Oh. So, Elizabeth, are you feeling grammatically correctly happier?
Yes, I am feeling happier and more happy. Thank you, Chuck. Get in touch. Gretchen's on Twitter at Gretchen Rubin, and I'm at Elizabeth Kraft. Our email address is podcast@GretchenRubin.com. And for everything related to this episode, links, photos, and more, go to happiercast.com. Bye, Gretch.
Bye, Elizabeth. The best time to start a happiness project is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
So, Gretchen, I looked on YouTube. I saw that when Paul McCartney does I've Got a Feeling, he has John Lennon up on the big screens from the documentary. Was that so cool in person?
Yeah, he said Peter Jackson told him, like, oh, I can pull that part out. Like, and so it was like they were singing a duet. Like, you could see John Lennon's face there. I'll post a picture of it in the show notes because I got a good shot of both of like the two images together. So I just got chills listening to that song and listening to them, and it really was extraordinary. Thank you for watching the show here on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe. It really helps other people to discover the show. From the Onward Project.